To be or not to be? That is the question. You guys always got me talking about politics. Listen, politics is superficial. There's much deeper truths and realities in books. And I want to share a quick summary of Hamlet and why I like Hamlet and what that question means. What it really means is to act or not to act. So what happens with Hamlet, I'm going to give a quick recap, is he's a prince of Denmark. His father is killed by who? Claudius, who happens to be his uncle. So the king of Denmark is killed by his brother Claudius. And now Hamlet has to revenge the killing of his father. He goes to bed, he has a dream. Who is it? It's his father telling him, your uncle Claudius poisoned me. He put poison in my ear while I slept and I didn't die of a snake bite. But what happens to Hamlet? He's a thinker, he's a philosopher. So instead of immediately acting and revenging the death of his father and king, he has to philosophize a way out of it. Sometimes we use thinking as an excuse not to do something. So he tells himself, maybe I was hallucinating. So he intellectualizes his way out of revenging the death of his father, but eventually comes up with a scientific plan to see whether or not his uncle Claudius did it. What did he do? He invited actors to play out a scene where the brother kills the uncle by poisoning him in the ear. And he says, I'm going to watch for my uncle's reaction. And based on that, I'll know whether he's guilty or not. But it's not conclusive enough. So he goes back into thinking. And then he tells himself, let me go approach him at night. And he takes his dagger with him. But he sees his uncle praying. And then he tells himself, this won't be revenge. Because if I kill him while he's in prayer, he's going to go to heaven. So now he's using morality to give himself an excuse from acting. So first, we use our intellect as an excuse not to act. Then we use our morality as an excuse not to act and to be a coward. Eventually, he leaves the prayer room of his uncle. He goes towards his mother. He hears a man behind the curtain and he thinks it's his uncle. So he stabs the man behind the curtain. Who does it end up being? Well, the father of the woman he loves, Ophelia. And he killed his future father-in-law. So when you don't act on your anger and direct it accordingly, eventually it takes over and you misplace that anger. So now Claudius, the uncle, can use this as an excuse to exile his nephew. And then eventually, while he's traveling, he sees these two men willing to fight over a small piece of land. And he says, look at them. They're willing to act. They're willing to fight and die for honor. Where I can't avenge the killing of my father and my king. He goes back to Denmark. And what does he find there? His mother is married to his uncle. Ophelia, the woman he loved, died because of her misery, knowing the man she loved killed her father. And then he wants to exact revenge on the king. But the king first tries to poison him, but who drinks it? His mother. So then she dies. And then eventually Hamlet is stabbed with a poisoned sword and he's about to die. But in that moment, when he no longer has time, he eventually acts, stabs the king. The king dies, and then Hamlet dies soon after, falling on top of him. So what's the lesson here? If you don't make decisions with the time that you have, time will make that decision for you. So we need to ask ourselves, to do or not to do? That is the question. Because if you don't tell the world who you are, the world will tell you who to be.